Dr. Rick Saguil.
And action. Hey, Jay had a... This is Kirk again. And action. Hey everyone, it's Dr. Rick. Pete had a question about how to get his gut back online. And for somebody who has some deep-seated anchored problems in the gut, it's sometimes really difficult to get out of that because of all the things you have to do to get back to normal. And then after getting to normal, to get better than normal. That's where I want my warriors to be. If this is the first time you're finding me, don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below to find out when I do new videos. So my videos are all integrative medicine based. And what I want to do is take somebody that comes into the office, reverse engineer how they got to this point, and try to attain where we were before. And if it's 5 years ago, easy. If it's 20 years ago, there's some deep-seated shit that accumulates. No pun intended, but gut is just one thing. But honestly, average American lifestyle is really deep-seated in crap because we push the wrong things. Maybe it's all over the world, I don't know, but this was an old, oops, there we go. This was for a video I was intending to do in my old studio in the office, but since I can't do videos there anymore, I took this home. But I haven't touched this in a while. It's buried under the rest of my stuff. This is the start of disease. Sorry, it's a little wiped out. This is the start of silent disease. Most symptoms that people will have usually don't manifest until you have exited life or gone to the doctor's office because you just can't take it anymore and your interventions don't work. So disease is silent though, and that's why you have to get in for a wellness exam. But the unfortunate problem is a wellness exam with the standard American doctor is not a wellness exam, it's the disease management exam. And we don't have time, well, I do in my lifestyle clinic at Endorphin Effect and in Hoffman Estates, but when you see me, insurance-based primary care doctor, I got like 15 to 20 minutes. I can't do much in 15 to 20 minutes, so I put rapid Band-Aids. The more rapid somebody comes in with multiple symptoms, the more rapid I fire back with, here's this, 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 and this. And sometimes it's really overwhelming to kind of get through this maze, have tasks to get through the maze, and then end up with no disease, or no symptoms at least. So that's just me kind of struggling to keep up with somebody with multiple diseases. And I'm sorry if it comes out to that, but the hammer has been dropped and I can't be doing that anymore. I can't be spending an hour. I can figure out stuff if you give me time and then come up with a good plan, but there's just not enough time in regular insurance-based medicine visits. If I have an hour, hour and a half, good. But check out my Herbal 411 website for lifestyle change coach. So what I propose for Pete and for Ken and for all my other folks who have multiple diseases is bite-sized treatment plans. When you have bite-sized treatment plans, you can get a dopamine rush because most of us are really flagged with dopamine, meaning who wants to get moving? Dopamine is that hormone in the brain that moves you. It's positive or present when you complete a task. But in most patients that I see, they hold the task super high. I want to reverse disease and be 20 again. And that's so arduous that as they start on that path, although good intentions, they flag and fall because it's hard to get to that. So that's why I say bite-sized tasks and accomplishments till you get to goal, or at least till you're inspired to stick to a plan. This is why I'm going to Colorado. I'm taking a risk of flying in a couple weeks. I don't know if I'll do it, but I have to hold myself to that standard. I do this because it holds me accountable and it's bite-sized to get me to. I'm trying to make Everest Base Camp, Everest Emergency Room by the time I turn 60. So I got 2.5 years. So having these little bite-sized challenges and successes, hopefully, will keep me in the game, keep me enthusiastic. When you get a dopamine rush after having an accomplishment, or it gives you another dopamine surge to push you to the next attempt. And then there's always serotonin that you get when you get reward too. So all these hormones get played into when you move forward. Just like opioids, they kind of move you, but they move you temporarily and then drop you. So lifestyle change is always important. I was on Zoloft for a while, but that was really when I was low down and I had no psychologist to support me. Now I have Dr. Nicole Parmalee. and my team. So the team that I use for my patients to get through this maze, the coaches that I use are the coaches that I really use and rely on. So one of the things that gets me moving, or the little bite-sized attempts to give me a little bit of satisfaction, is music. I will tell you honestly, I just finished a 15-minute workout. That's all I have time for. I'm supposed to be going to the office in about 10 minutes, but I thought I'd put this out for Pete. So if I'm feeling down in the dumps, or I just don't feel like doing anything and I waste time to get to my next task, even though it's not a great task, going to work on Saturday, but I sometimes will pull out music like this. So, those of you who don't know this is Van Halen. Oh, that just jacks me up. So, maybe it doesn't work for you guys, but it takes me right back to college days when I used to work out at Heyman Hall at LaSalle University with my roommate, God rest his soul, Tony D'Angelo. And man, I remember seeing the crew team go through their circuits and then working out with Tony and the other guys, just get so pumped up right before dinner, going to the cafeteria eating crappy food. But if I hear that and I blast it, it takes me right back to that little time when there was hope. And sometimes if you're surrounded by despair and challenge and no way out, because no avenue is working for you, removing yourself, your frontal brain, from the present and putting it into the past sometimes will give you calm or give you fired up energy, just like I get when I listen to Van Halen. So that is a technique I use. I'm not sure if it'll work for you. I also have a American Indian drum set. Try to get that same drum riff that Alex Van Halen played, even if it's just for 15 minutes, which is, some of you would say, why do I just work out for 15 minutes? That's all I have time for. And number two, it's bite-sized, so it gets me there. I'm done now. And tomorrow I'm going to be doing some hiking to prepare for Colorado, and I'll be done with that once a week. Is that enough training? It's good enough for me. But if I had this huge task to get to Everest, and I had to say, okay, I got to practice going to Everest every year, that's impossible, right? So I try to get my folks too, when we're trying to find our way through the maze, I just say, take care of this first. Trust, hold, reflect, go to the next task. So it is important to have success. It is important to help rewire to the end being the next task or the next big summit. And then there's another big summit. So it is important to keep engaged. And if your doctor says, I'll see you next year, lose 20 pounds, take the medicine, that's bullshit. So it'll certainly be helpful to, don't get me wrong, you got to stay on your medicines, especially if you're still down here. But you have to be conscious that there are side effects to medicines. You have to be aware that there are side effects to stagnation and decreased activity. There are side effects to eating crappy food. You might have a little bite-sized win if you engage in alcohol or sugar, but you're going to put yourself backwards or lower down on the totem pole of the maze by doing those short-lived successes. So please keep focused. If you don't have a focus or a summit that you're shooting for, whether it's a huge summit or a bunch of daisy-chained small summits, get a coach. Western medicine, if you're thinking right now, well, I can't afford that because insurance doesn't pay for it. Well, you're on your way to affording a bypass, cancer, or a stroke, or some iatrogenic disease. Those are the top four diseases in America that kill people: heart attack, cancer, some neurological or respiratory issue, and then iatrogenic damage or death. That means doctor-induced, hospital-induced death. That's pretty bad when that's top five. So we have to honor the system we have, but also have to assemble a new set of systems to get us onto a different trajectory. So hopefully this gives you a little bit of an idea of what I refer to as bite-sized changes. List down your bite-sized change that you do, and maybe other people will get inspired by it. Even meditation. The video I did with interviewing Bhante, I've always told people 5 minutes twice a day. Deepak, one of my coaches, Deepak Chopra, he goes into like 3 hours. I'm like, who has time for that? I'm sure there is time. I just rationalize that way. But Bante said 2 minutes twice a day. Start the day with a message. Today, I'm going to get through the day, have fun with my son, and take care of some projects at home, and then exercise. I did the exercise, accomplished. Now I just have a couple more. So I got a dopamine high. Now I've done a video. So video for the weekend, cool. I got 2 accomplishments. So put down the way you get your daisy chain, or the things that you take, because sometimes nutrition and supplements will also get you there. Otherwise, I'll see you at the next video. Thanks.